It was the same story in Indari. Every year, during the blessing ceremony, the sky would turn grey and Mount Kenya would wear its clouds like a crown. And the rain, it always knew where to fall first. The Getakas, the Mutonis, the Njoroges, the Kabutas, and the Umwangi Wamatu clan. We call them the always blessed ones. The villagers didn't question it. After all, these families were the ones who prayed the loudest, gave the biggest goats, and sat on every committee with the word divine in it. These families led the Itika ya Umbura, the rain blessing ceremony. They gave the offerings, lit the fires, stood closest to the shrine stones, chanting loud and bending in rehearsed humility. And when the first drops fell, it always began with them. Their maize turned green faster. Their herds multiplied. Their sons got praise songs during harvest season. The rest of the village simply had to wait their turn, hoping for Ungai, the supreme god, to see them. Kamau waited too, watching rain clouds split, one half soaking the Kabuta farm, the other drifting past his own dry land. He said nothing. He clapped when he was meant to, during the blessed ceremony, doing everything others did too. But inside him, something tightened, especially in this last ceremony. He was angry and tired. His anger is the kind that settles in your chest when you know the game is rigged, but everyone pretends it's holy. That kind of anger. Next to him, Wanjiku crossed her arms and clicked her tongue. Wanjiku shook her head, hands on hips. They said Ngai blesses humility, she muttered. But it's like the clouds keep a guest list. Kamau didn't answer. He stared at Kirin Yaga. Mount Kenya's peak, calm, silent, unmoved. Hadn't the elders say Ngai lived there? That evening, after the village cleared the shrine grounds, Kamau walked to the community message board near the grain store. He pinned a folded note he had written. It was small, handwritten. It has no name. Are we sure Ngai is the one choosing who gets blessed? Or have we made those choices ourselves? Then he walked away. People watched him as he leaves, whispering among themselves. What is Kamau doing? Is he trying to confront the 5 families? By sunrise, the note was gone from the board, cleared, like it had never been there. That afternoon, someone told Kamau he had been removed from the planning circle for next season's harvest prayers. No reason, just a new list, with his name no longer on it. That evening, Kamau stood alone by his plot. The border between his dry soil and the Gateka's green maize looked like a line drawn by the sky itself. His was bare and theirs were flourishing. And then something changed. A single gust of wind passed over his field. Cool, sudden. It came from Mount Kenya's direction. Kamau turned. No one stood behind him. No trees rustled, but something had shifted. A week passed and the Gatekas held another ceremony. New offerings, bigger drums, louder chants, but nothing, no rain. They added a second goat, 2 gourds of honey, and a loud praise chant with drumming that lasted nearly an hour. Everyone waited and watched, confused. This has never happened before. They watched the clouds gather and they left, but no rain on the family's farm. Down the hill, Wanjiku's plot, which had been dry for 3 seasons, got the first drop. Just 1, then 2. Then a full sweep of rain hit her cassava, her beans, her pumpkin leaves. Kamau watched it happen. So did the whole village. By the next morning, Wanjiku's land shimmered with life. The Mutoni clan's maize, no water. The elders met under the Mukuyu tree to discuss the shift. They didn't mention Kamau's name, but everyone knew why they were gathered. They spoke in parables and old riddles during the meeting, but by sunset, a whisper was already moving through the market. Ngai is watching again. What magic did Kamau perform to get Ngai's attention? Meanwhile, Kamau kept to himself. He taught his lessons. He watered what he could. And in the early evenings, he walked the slope just before Kirinyaga's base, where the land met the sacred line. That's where he found it, half buried under red dust and dry grass, a smooth black stone, flat as a plate and cold to the touch. He didn't know what it was at first. Then he remembered the stories, the mirror stones, once used in ancient blessing rites. They showed people's truth. That night, when the wind passed over his roof, Kamau sat alone and looked into the stone. He didn't see his reflection. He saw flashes of himself, carrying books, asking questions, walking alone through silent crowds. Then, he understood why the change happened, the reason the rain shifted. Ngai is a god that stands with you when you ask the right questions, when you do the right things. Ngai has simply answered when Kamau questioned. The next day, the Kabuta family called for an emergency blessing. Another goat, another performance. 3 elders danced around the family's sacred fig tree until one nearly fainted. Still, no rain. The villagers began to talk, louder now. What if it's not the names Ngai is following? What if he has moved on to the rest of us? That night, it rained again on Kamau's land. Only his. By morning, someone had carved a word into the edge of his chamber with a machete. Blasphemer. The word stayed carved in Kamau's soil all day. He didn't react. He didn't clean it. He just planted around it. The whispers had also changed. People say Kamau found something. He's using the old ways. He's calling the rain on purpose. The 5 families stopped all ceremonies and called a close meeting with Kamau. They couldn't understand why Ngai would bless someone who said nothing, gave nothing, stood at the back during ceremonies. However, Kamau rejected the meeting as he had some planting to do. He would see them the next day. But something was shifting in the rain and the people. A young farmer helped his neighbor harvest early. The next day, rain soaked both their farms. He might have asked Ngai the question, but the people are starting to do the right things. After all, the families had gotten the gods' favor by feeding them every festival. Another man bragged loudly about donating seed. Rain hit his roof and skipped his land. The people watched more closely now. They watched who got rain and how they behaved before it came. Eventually, when Kamau saw the elders, he walked in carrying nothing. No offering, no bundle, just a hoe, still muddy from his morning walk. They asked him 3 questions. Are you trying to redirect Ngai's favor? Are you rejecting the traditional path? What is your intention, Kamau? Kamau makes only one statement. If Ngai is watching, then maybe it's not our rituals he's responding to. Maybe it's the way we live between them. His words brought silence. That evening, rain came again. It did not come for the 5 families. Instead, it fell on the home of Wanjiku's nephew, who had spent the day fixing his neighbor's fence. The village began to split in the market square. Others warned, if we don't return to the old order, he will turn his back on all of us. By now, the whole village had seen what was happening, and one thing was sure to them. The people who helped others got trained. A few started changing their ways. Others doubled down. Kamau stayed quiet. Rain no longer followed names. It no longer answered drums or goats. It moved differently. When a widow gave her last seed to a neighbor, it rained that evening. When a boy fixed a broken fence, without being asked, his field turned green before sunrise. The 5 families grew restless. The Gatekas blamed envy. The Mutonis called it confusion. The Kabutas tried a secret ceremony at midnight. 3 goats and a carved prayer staff. Thunder shook the valley. Rain never came. One morning, after a dream in which he saw the Mount Kenya and Ngai smiling at him, Kamau picked up one seed, the mirror stone, and a small hoe. Then he started walking until there was no audience or chant. It was just him, the mountain, and silence. He dug a small hole, dropped the seed inside, placed the mirror stone beside it, face down and walked away. That night, the rain came again. It covered everyone's farm. Every shamba sprouted new life. No one asked who was in charge anymore. No one argued about who deserved blessings. They just walked together, and the rain stayed. And Kamau, without asking for it, had become something between a sign and a reminder. Prayers go beyond worship. It is important to ask real questions and do good deeds. Kamau kept his reading. He taught in the mornings, farmed in the evenings. He spoke only when it mattered. He didn't take credit, didn't ask for thanks. But everyone knew who had changed the conversation.